Let's talk about one of the biggest, most frustrating problems in business today. That huge gaping chasm between a brilliant strategy and actually getting it done. Today we're diving into a methodology that's specifically designed to be the missing link, the bridge that connects those big ideas to real-world results.
You've seen this happen, right? I mean, a project team absolutely crushes it. They hit every deadline, stay under budget, the final product looks amazing. But then, fast forward a year, and that product is totally irrelevant, or maybe the whole business is struggling. It's this maddening paradox, and it hints at a much deeper problem.
And here it is. This is the heart of the issue, the strategy-execution gap. You've got your business strategist over on one cliff, dreaming up the future, looking at market opportunities, and on the other cliff, you have your project managers, who are masters of execution, but they're not speaking the same language. Without a bridge, even the most perfect project can just fall right into that gap.
So, how in the world do you build that bridge? How do you span that chasm? Well, this is where a methodology called PBMA comes into the picture. It's literally designed to be that bridge, to make sure that the big picture vision gets translated perfectly into the nitty-gritty of project execution. So what makes the Project Business Management Association, or PBMA, so different? It's all about when it gets involved. You see, traditional project management usually kicks in after an idea has already been approved, but PBMA, it starts way earlier, right at the business idea stage, to make sure it's strategically valuable before you spend a single dollar. And, this is crucial, it keeps monitoring the market, creating this constant feedback loop. Here's a look at how that flow actually works. It all starts with the raw business idea. Then you move into the strategic alignment phase, where that idea gets put through its paces to make sure it actually supports the business's goals. Only then is there a formal handover to the project managers, who can use their favorite frameworks, like Agile. And finally, you have the monitor and upgrade phase, which is this ongoing loop, watching the market to fuel the next great idea.
Okay, so the process sounds logical, but let's be real, does it actually work in the wild? Well, PMA's credibility really stands on two solid pillars. First, tons of practical real-world experience, and second, well-established academic theory.
The first pillar is all about experience. But instead of some dry, boring textbook, PBMA is built around storytelling. It's called experience transfer. It's about sharing the real case studies, the successes, sure, but also the challenges and what was learned. This makes the whole thing so much more relatable and proves it has practical value right from the get-go.
Stories make it real, but numbers make it compelling. And take a look at this. This is a tangible result from a case study, a 20% faster time to market. That's a direct business impact that comes from making sure your strategy and execution are aligned from day one.
Let's just pause on that number for a second. 20%. A 20% improvement in getting your product out the door isn't just some small efficiency gain. That is a massive competitive advantage. That's what happens when you stop just working hard and you start making sure you're working on the right things.
Now for the second pillar, which gives PBMA its intellectual backbone, this isn't just a random collection of good ideas somebody came up with. It's a system that's deeply rooted in decades of proven business and even mathematical principles.
And just look at how it puts these classic theories to work. It takes something like Porter's 5 forces and uses it to scan for market threats while a project is happening. It uses the theory of constraints to find bottlenecks before they even become an issue. And it applies the good old 80-20 rule to make sure you're focused on the 20% of work that delivers 80% of the value. The key here is that it makes theory actionable. So when you combine these real-world results with that solid theoretical foundation, something interesting starts to happen. PBMA is becoming more than just a methodology. It's actually building an entire ecosystem, a whole movement of people who are tired of that strategy execution gap. And they're building this community very deliberately. You've got webinars and workshops for hands-on training. There's a public library of case studies so you can see the proof for yourself. They're collaborating with universities to keep the ideas fresh, running campaigns for specific industries, and of course, bringing everyone together at conferences and events. You know, this really signals a huge shift in how we should think about projects. For years, the main focus was just on efficiency, on time, on budget. But the future isn't about efficiency, it's about effectiveness. And that means strategic alignment isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's the next logical step in the evolution of project management.
Now, it's so important to get this next part. PBMA does not replace something like Agile. Think of Agile as a super powerful engine. It's incredible at getting things done. PBMA is the navigation system.
It's the GPS that makes sure that powerful engine is heading to the right destination. It's the shift from simply doing projects right to doing the right projects. And that is what sets a business up for the future. By constantly keeping an eye on the market and feeding that intelligence back into your strategy, PBMA creates a system that not only helps you finish the project you're on, but it's already setting the stage for the next one. It's how you stay relevant and stay ahead.
All right, so what's the big takeaway here? If there's one thing you remember about the Project Business Management Association after this, what should it be?
I think this quote just absolutely nails it. PBMA is not just a set of rules. It's a philosophy. It's about changing your entire mindset to connect what you're doing today with where you need to be tomorrow. It's about making sure every single project helps build a stronger, more resilient future.
So I'll leave you with this final thought, a question for you to take back to your own organization. Is your current approach to project management just about getting today's tasks done? Or is it actively, deliberately building your company's future? The answer to that question could really change everything.